So let's do a run through on the workflow. I have my project file open, and in this particular project I have 3 comps that are going to be accessed. So now I will open the script. We'll find the batch file. Just going to do a quick preview with this section here. As you can see, there's 24 files to be processed. So I can check this out as often as I want, even make corrections to the comp if so required. Maybe it would be helpful to know that this is set up. The author is with the text tool selected. Right click. You can see it's point text. This is where you would convert to paragraph text. So if I click the quote section, hover over it, and this is where you could convert it back to point text. But I want it because paragraph, because it's going to actually, and this is, as you can see, you set up the paragraph width and the depth here. That's why it might be necessary to check it and to see if it's actually fitting on screen. Now that I'm happy with that, I can click out of that, continue my preview if I so desire, or in this case, let's just actually run through a complete process. I'll say to put it on my J drive. I'll put in the CG folder, and I'm good to go. I have my output modules and rendering settings set up in my data sheet. So I push process, and you'll see that it actually goes to the first one and renders. And it's going to tell me that I'm now in my 3rd render. It kind of hangs on screen a little bit at this point, even though it's still rendering. And my script got buried for a second and popped back up. So now I'm at number 5 in the process. Kind of like watching paint dry, but at least you see the process in real time without any time elapsed or anything cut out. One other thing that I did program into the script is that you'll notice here that the RAM used cycles down. After every render, it clears out all of the memory and keeps it, so especially if you don't have that much memory, it's to keep it from bogging down too much. So even though I have 64 gigs in RAM, I just programmed that in so it keeps it at a low part at all times, because it accumulates After Effects as it processes. So we're halfway done through the process at this point. And I believe each render is running at about 12 to 15 seconds. But to have them done automatically, there's no redundant clicks setting up the file and the location. This has been a great time saver for me. And generally when I do these, I have different size formats. Some are left screen, some are lower thirds, and some are full screen. I use this quite heavily in a church format for speaking, for song lyrics. The application would, of course, be almost limitless. And just in my preferred setup, I have the render screen, not the actual comp during the render process. Last one. All completed. So let's go to quotes and the CG file. One of these, there it is, report for the quotes one we just did. So it started at 11:58 my time, finished at 12:03. So a 5-minute complete time, start to finish, and all of them done. And as you can see, it says that all of them are now listed as being done. I went through and checked just to make sure. I have 2 of them here that I actually capitalized, and they did not reject it, just to make sure that that would work properly. Everything else was repeated, just as it would be in the batch file, but the render report, then it gives you an overview of how long that took, and once again done. This could also be put into your status in your Excel sheet, and it would actually, when you cross-reference the data, it would update it. I've chosen not to do that at this point. So that's an overview of how the system works, and it seems to work sufficiently flawlessly in mine. I hope that improves your workflow. Until our next video. Bye now.